The boardroom was thick with silence, the kind that follows a mistake no one wants to name. Harrison's fingers drummed an anxious rhythm on the table, each tap a countdown to something none of them saw coming.
Mr. Harrison, you need to see this. The pre-layoff audit just turned up something I can't explain over the phone. Frank Castellano, the janitor you ordered, fired. He's not just a janitor. He holds 11% of the company's common stock.
That's impossible. He's been mopping floors for 40 years. You are telling me he's the founder?
The original founder who walked away in '88 after a moral disagreement. But he never sold his shares, never severed ownership.
The words spread through the room like a crack in ice. Every board seat suddenly felt unstable.
Get Lisa Thompson on the phone now. She's the only one he might listen to.
The boardroom descended into frantic whispers. The man they'd called expendable had just become the most powerful person in the building. 24 hours earlier, none of them knew what was coming. The morning of her first day as office manager, Lisa Thompson walked into her new office with a quiet sense of triumph.
6 years of night shifts and weekend courses. This is the moment that makes it all worth it. Hey, baby girl. Guess what? Mama got the big office.
For real? Does it have a window and everything?
Big window. We'll celebrate tonight, I promise.
Before she could hang up, an assistant appeared at her door with a summons she couldn't refuse.
Congratulations on the promotion. Now to business. These 3 names need to be gone by Friday.
Lisa's eyes dropped to the list. The first name, circled in red ink, was Frank Castellano.
Frank's been here since the beginning. You want me to fire a 70-year-old man on my first day? This isn't a promotion. It's a test I didn't sign up for.
Back in her office, Lisa closed the door and went straight to the filing cabinet. Frank's folder was thick as a brick. 37 years, spotless record. No sick days, no complaints. Just a man who showed up before sunrise, day after day.
How do you hand a man like that his walking papers? You don't.
She found him in the lobby, exactly where she expected, moving a damp mop across the marble in slow, familiar strokes.
Morning, Miss Thompson. Figured you'd be busy with bigger things than an old mop jockey.
I wanted to see the best-kept floors in Detroit. Besides, you were here when this place was a model in a garage, weren't you?
Before the garage, I remember the dirt lot. This building has bones, and I know every one of them. You take care of the little things, Miss Thompson, and the big things hold together. That's what I've always believed.
The folded list in Lisa's pocket felt like a piece of broken glass. She couldn't do it. Not to him.
I won't be the one to break him, whatever it costs. I won't.
She sat at her desk and opened a blank document. The cursor blinked, waiting for her to cross a line she never thought she'd have to. She typed 5 sentences. The last one read, "I will not be the hand that destroys a good man's life to save a few dollars." The printer hummed. She signed her name hard enough to leave an impression on the paper beneath. She folded the paper, slid it into an envelope, and walked the long hallway to the boardroom as if in a dream. The door swung open. 6 faces turned. Lisa placed the envelope on the table in front of Harrison.
Mr. Harrison, I can't fire that man. I quit. Effective immediately.
Harrison's face went slack. The board exchanged glances as if she had spoken a language they didn't understand. Lisa turned her back straight and walked out. The glass door closed behind her with a quiet click. For a long moment, no one moved. Then Harrison picked up the envelope, his fingers trembling with something between fury and disbelief. She pushed through the revolving door and into the evening air. The job was gone, but she was still herself. The bus ride home felt longer than usual. By the time she opened her apartment door, her rehearsed lines had evaporated.
Mommy, you are home early. Did they let you out for good behavior?
Something like that, baby. Come here. We need to talk.
She sat on the couch and pulled Maya close, choosing each word carefully, because 8-year-olds remember the cracks in a parent's voice forever.
Mommy had to make a hard choice today. I am not going to work at that office anymore.
But you just got the big window. Did you do something bad?
No, sweetheart. Sometimes doing the right thing feels like doing the wrong thing, but we're going to be okay.
After Maya fell asleep, Lisa sat at the kitchen table with a calculator and a stack of bills that had never looked so tall.
Rent, utilities, Maya's school fees. Without a job, we've got maybe 2 months before the floor drops out.
That woman's little stunt doesn't change the board's directive. Keller, I want the pre-layoff paperwork on my desk by morning. Frank Castellano is gone by Friday, and anyone else on that list is gone too.
The clock on Keller's desk read 10:30. The pre-layoff audit was routine until it wasn't. He pulled Frank Castellano's employment file and found a yellowed attachment, a shareholder registration, dated 1988, never canceled.
This can't be right. He's been a janitor for 40 years. How could the board not know?
The certificate listed 11% of common stock, still active, dividends accumulating for decades in an account no one had touched.
If this is real, we just tried to fire the largest minority shareholder.
His hand trembled as he dialed Harrison's personal number. It rang 5 times before a groggy answer.
Keller, this better be important.
He found something in the pre-layoff check. Frank Castellano. He's the founder, Mr. Harrison, the one who quit in '88. He never sold his shares. 11%. He's been the largest minority owner for 37 years, and we signed off on terminating him.
In the darkness of his penthouse, Harrison's blood ran cold. The ground beneath the board had just shifted. Keller didn't sleep. He drove back to the firm and retrieved a dusty binder from the corporate safe. The original 1988 shareholder agreement. Harrison, phone clamped to his ear, stalked through his living room in the dark, each call more urgent than the last.
Be in the boardroom at 7 a.m. No excuses. We have a directorship crisis that cannot wait. Tell no one.
He tried Lisa next. Her phone went straight to voicemail. She'd turned it off for the night. In the janitor's closet, Frank straightened bottles of cleaner under a bare bulb, humming an old tune. His hand paused on a tin box. He opened it and took out a faded photograph, the faces still sharp.
Haven't looked at this in years. That garage leaked when it rained, but we were too young to care.
He ran a thumb over his own younger face, then tucked the photo away, sealing a chapter he'd never finished. Frank shut off the light, unaware the board would be begging for him in 6 hours. By midnight, the building was dark. The board had confirmed. The bomb ticked. Lisa's phone buzzed at 6:30. She squinted at the screen. 6 missed calls from the firm's general line.
They want to humiliate me, or worse, blacklist me before I find another job.
Mommy, who keeps calling, is it about the big window?
Nothing to worry about. But I need to go down there. Auntie Clara's on standby, okay? You didn't do anything wrong. Walk in there with your head up.
She buttoned her blazer, kissed Maya's forehead, and closed the apartment door behind her. The drive felt shorter than she wanted. The morning light was harsh against the office tower. Inside the boardroom, Keller had already laid out the shareholder agreement, his voice low but relentless.
His 11% gives him the right to call a special vote. If he invokes it, we lose control of this board.
Then we keep him from invoking it. We need Lisa Thompson in that chair by 7:15. No explanations, just get her here.
She stepped off the elevator into the quiet corridor. Through the glass walls, the boardroom was silent and gray.
They look like they've seen a ghost. All 6 of them.
She pushed the door open without knocking. 6 pairs of eyes lifted, and no one looked away.
Miss Thompson, thank you for coming. Please, sit. We owe you an explanation.
An explanation. Yesterday I was a liability. Now they're offering me a chair.
Keller cleared his throat and placed a thick file on the table. Lisa didn't move.
I am not here to be fired twice. If you have something to say it now.
This isn't about your resignation. It's about the janitor. Frank Castellano. He's not who we thought he was. And because of you, we found out the hard way.
The room held its breath. Lisa's heart pounded against her ribs. The air shifted.
Frank Castellano is the original founder of this firm. In 1988, he walked away from the C-suite after a moral dispute with the board.
The file held a yellowed shareholder certificate. 11% of common stock, never sold, dividends accumulating for 37 years. He chose to stay on as a janitor, believing the people at the bottom are the ones who hold the place up.
He told me he'd been here from the beginning. I thought he meant as a janitor.
He never trusted management again, until yesterday. Your refusal to fire him made you the only manager he's ever believed in.
The truth settled over Lisa, like cold water. The man she'd protected was the one person who could break this board.
We never knew. None of us. He's been invisible to this board for 40 years.
The board's cost-cutting crusade had just detonated under their own feet. Frank Castellano held the keys to the kingdom.
You didn't call me back for an apology. You need me because he trusts me.
Then the boardroom door creaked. Someone had been listening. Frank Castellano stood in the hallway, his mop resting against the wall. He had heard every word through the door crack. The door swung open with both hands. Frank stepped into the boardroom in his faded blue uniform, the hinges groaning like a long-delayed sentence.
37 years I've been mopping these floors, and in all that time, she's the only one who ever saw me.
For a second, his old eyes glistened. Then he turned to the board, and the air in the room changed. Harrison rose, mouth opening to reclaim control, but Frank raised one hand without even glancing his way.
Sit down, Mr. Harrison. I believe this is my seat.
Frank lowered himself into the chair at the head of the table, the same leather Harrison had occupied moments before. The boardroom fell so silent that the hum of the fluorescent lights became deafening.
I didn't walk away from this company to watch you destroy it. I came back to save it.
Frank leaned forward, his voice carrying decades of silence that had finally found the right room.
I stayed as the janitor because I couldn't stomach what this place became. But I never stopped caring about the people. And this week, you tried to fire the one person who still believes this company has a soul. You risked everything for an old man you didn't even know. That's the kind of leadership this place needs. I am invoking my shareholder rights. I call for a vote of no confidence in Mr. Harrison's leadership, and I nominate Lisa Thompson as interim COO.
He can't be serious. I am the office manager who quit 12 hours ago.
This is preposterous. A janitor can't waltz in and restructure the board. You have no authority.
Keller cleared his throat, his voice thin but precise.
Actually, according to the original articles, an 11% shareholder can call a special vote. It's legally binding.
Let's see who else remembers why we built this place. All in favor of the motion, raise your hands.
This is a circus, not a board meeting. You can't just commandeer a vote.
The articles are clear. 11% calls the meeting, and the board votes. We're doing this now.
2 board members exchanged a glance that said everything. Harrison's iron grip was loosening. The woman in the charcoal suit slowly raised her hand, her eyes never leaving Harrison's face. Beside her, the oldest member nodded once, then lifted his hand with the gravity of a man who'd finally stopped playing along. Lisa watched, her heart slamming against her ribs. This wasn't a meeting anymore. It was a mutiny.
They're actually doing it. He's not alone anymore.
You think this changes anything? A few raised hands don't erase decades of leadership.
It changes everything, Harrison. The people who build the place are finally being counted.
The vote was about to close. Lisa felt something she'd nearly forgotten. The raw, terrifying pulse of possibility.
Miss Thompson, don't be a fool. This is a stunt. You'll be chewed up and spat out.
His words were meant to slice, but Lisa saw the fear beneath them. She looked at Frank. He gave her that small nod, the one she'd first seen in the lobby.
This is the moment. Stand up or stay down forever.
She rose without hurry, her hands pressing flat on the cool table.
I didn't come here for a promotion. I came because I thought I was being punished, but Mr. Castellano is right. This company needs to remember who built it. I'll serve, if you'll have me.
The board members shifted. Some wore grudging respect, others open relief. Harrison's face went white. In that moment, Lisa stopped being a woman who'd quit. She became the leader they'd never known they needed.
Fine. Let's do this. All in favor of this absurd motion, raise your hands.
The room held still. Then, one by one, hands lifted, not like a wave, but like a verdict. Keller's tablet flashed the count. 5 in favor, 2 against. Harrison stared at the numbers as if they were written in a language he'd forgotten.
Then it's settled. Miss Thompson, the COO's seat is yours.
Lisa stepped forward and lowered herself into the chair, the leather still warm from Harrison's defeat. A few board members clapped, hesitant but genuine. Harrison didn't move.
We're going to be okay, Maya.
Harrison's phone buzzed on the table. He ignored it. The sound of shredding hadn't even started yet. For the first time in 24 hours, Lisa filled her lungs completely. The boardroom was hers.
The original termination list still sat where Harrison had thrown it, a red circle scorching Frank's name like a brand that refused to fade.
You don't need that anymore.
She lifted the paper and stood, the board's silence giving her permission she no longer needed. She walked to the corner where the shredder hummed, waiting for its final sacrifice. Without ceremony, she fed the paper through the blades. It vanished in a clean, mechanical growl that echoed off the glass walls. The board watched, some with relief, others with the shock of the unaccustomed. Not a single voice rose to stop her. Harrison's phone buzzed again on the table, but he didn't reach for it. He just stared at the empty space where the list had been. The sound of the shredder was the sound of a new era, and every person in the room knew it. Frank placed a hand on Lisa's shoulder. Neither spoke. The last strip of paper curled into the basket, and the room exhaled.
Miss Thompson, you have the floor. What's your first priority?
My first priority is a full salary review of every support staff member. The people at the bottom have been holding this place up for decades. It's time they got their due.
Frank nodded once, a quiet confirmation that he had chosen correctly. The board members shifted, but no voice rose in objection. Lisa felt the weight of the last 24 hours lift, replaced by a steely certainty. Harrison sat stone-faced, his hand finally still on the table.
That's the kind of leadership that builds things to last.
He believes in me. Now I have to prove him right.
The meeting shifted into real work, and for the first time in years, the boardroom felt like a place where things were being built, not torn down. Harrison rose slowly, gathered his leather folio, and walked to the door without meeting a single eye. The glass door closed behind him with the same soft click that had sealed Lisa's resignation the day before.
I don't hate him. I just hope he never has to feel what he tried to do to someone else. Frank, would you show me to the COO's office? I think you know this building better than anyone.
It would be my honor. Follow me.
They stepped into the quiet corridor, the morning light filtering through the high windows.
Frank, why did you do it? Stay here as a janitor all those years, holding on to your shares.
I wanted to see if anyone would notice the man who built the place. You were the first.
They stood there for a breath, the founder and the woman who had seen him when no one else did. Then Frank gestured forward, and they continued down the hall together. Lisa stepped into the interim COO's office, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Detroit skyline. Her nameplate already waited on the desk. Lisa Thompson, interim COO. A small box of personal effects sat beside it. She opened the box and lifted out a framed black and white photograph. A young Frank among the original founders. She ran a thumb over the glass, over a man who'd spent 40 years invisible. Then she hung it above her desk, centering it exactly, and stepped back.
This is where you belong.
Down in the lobby, Frank Castellano picked up his mop for the first time that day, a quiet smile creasing his face. He moved the mop in the same slow strokes, but everything about him felt lighter. He'd keep working twice a week, on his terms. The floors would stay spotless, and so would his conscience. Lisa watched from her window, then turned back to the photo on her wall and smiled. As dusk settled over the city, Lisa gathered her bag and switched off her desk lamp. She passed through the quiet lobby, the only sound the soft slap of Frank's mop against the marble. He looked up as she approached, that same gentle face she'd first seen 24 hours earlier.
Long day, Miss Thompson. You headin' home?
Longest of my life, but a good one.
They stood there for a moment, no more words needed. She placed her hand briefly on his shoulder, a silent thank you. Then she pushed through the glass doors into the cool Detroit evening. The last 2 days had tested everything she believed, but she'd held the line, and the line had held her. She looked back once through the window. Frank was still mopping, his smile visible even from here. And in that quiet picture, the whole story made sense. The apartment door opened, and before Lisa could set her bag down, Maya flew into her arms.
Mommy, you are back. I made you a present.
Let me see, baby. But first, let me look at you.
She held Maya tight, breathing in the scent of crayons and laundry soap, the familiar anchor of home.
Mommy's got news. I didn't lose my job. I got a new one. A better one.
For real? Does it have an even bigger window?
The biggest. And enough money so you can join that art camp this summer.
Maya scrambled off the couch and ran to the kitchen, returning with a crayon drawing she'd taped to the fridge that morning. It was a stick figure Lisa with a briefcase scrawled in green crayon, "My mom, the office manager." Lisa tacked it back on the fridge, right at eye level, and smiled. The apartment, for the first time in days, felt like home. The first light of dawn touched the glass tower, turning the lobby into a pool of pale gold. Through the window, Frank Castellano moved his mop in the same slow rhythm, a soft smile creasing his weathered face. On the directory board, new lettering read, "Lisa Thompson, Interim COO." Frank paused, his eyes resting on her name, then nodded once, a quiet salute. He returned to his work, the mop strokes steady, the floors gleaming as they had for 40 years. Outside, the city stirred, but inside the lobby, time held still. In a company built on hidden strength, the real foundation was never the marble floors. It was the people who laid them, and somewhere in that quiet lobby, a mop kept moving. The image held for a long moment, then faded to black.